How was racial hygiene used in eugenics? Imagine a time when science was misused to divide people into categories based on false ideas about race. Racial hygiene was a term created in 1895 by German biologist Alfred Plotz. It described a way to improve society by controlling human reproduction. This idea combined pseudoscientific racial theories with the concept of selective breeding. It was one of the most harmful uses of genetics in history. Understanding how it worked helps us see why ethics matter in genetics today. The core belief of racial hygiene was that human races could be ranked from superior to inferior. Proponents thought that lower races threatened the purity of higher races. They believed that mixing races, called miscegenation, was dangerous and should be prevented. This idea ignored the real complexity of human genetics. Instead, it promoted harmful stereotypes as if they were facts. They falsely claimed that certain races carried undesirable traits or diseases. Racial hygienists believed society would decline if they did not intervene. They targeted traits like mental disabilities, physical disabilities, poverty, alcoholism, and criminal behavior. They also aimed at ethnic and religious minorities, LGBTQ people, and anyone they saw as racially unfit. They thought sterilization was a way to stop these undesirable traits from spreading. In Nazi Germany, racial hygiene led to forced sterilizations. The Sterilization Law of July 14, 1933, ordered the sterilization of anyone considered hereditarily ill. The Nazis used broad definitions, often based on social judgments rather than science. Hundreds of thousands of people, including those with disabilities, were sterilized. The United States also adopted similar ideas. Starting in 1907, states like Indiana passed sterilization laws. By the 1920s, thousands of people had been sterilized involuntarily. African Americans and poor communities were often targeted more than others. Other countries like Switzerland, Austria, Belgium, and Canada also adopted sterilization policies based on racial hygiene ideas. These programs lasted until the 1970s. The ideology extended beyond sterilization. It justified the persecution of groups the Nazis saw as genetically inferior. This included the execution of mentally ill patients through euthanasia and the systematic murder of Jews, Romani people, Slavs, Black individuals, and people with disabilities during the Holocaust. After World War II, the world recognized the horrors caused by these ideas. The scientific community discredited eugenics and racial hygiene. Modern genetics has shown that human variation does not support racial hierarchies. The categories used by racial hygienists are not based on biology. Today, family genetic testing and hereditary health focus on informed consent and individual choice. We learn from history that pseudoscience and racism have no place in ethical genetics. It is essential to remember these lessons to ensure we respect human dignity and diversity today.